Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday to you. Today is Tuesday, July 12th, 2022, and shortly after the 10 a.m. hour here, and we are located at 901 Main Street, in the heart of Old Town Conyers in Rockdale County. We're calling our meeting to order this morning, and we are going to open our meeting with our very own Stormwater Director leading us in the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Director Terrence Simpkins. Come on up, Director Simpkins.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Commissioners, Mr. Chairman, all of our presiders, may we please bow our heads. Dear Lord, we thank you for waking us up this morning, dear Lord. We thank you for bringing us out to do your will. We pray that you cover these proceedings with your love, wisdom, understanding, and grace, that we may positively impact the lives of all of our Rockdale citizens. We want you to bless Rockdale and know that cover this county in your love, and that you allow us to improve the quality of life here in Rockdale County, Lord. We thank you for all of your blessings. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Director Simpkins. As I mentioned earlier, Director Simpkins heads up our Stormwater Department, and he and his team are extremely busy moving throughout Rockdale County, responding to requests and dealing with maintenance issues as it relates to stormwater management here in Rockdale County. We certainly appreciate you being on board and leading us in our invocation and the pledge this morning. We have two special recognitions this morning, and we want to start off with Eastside Esports League, and that's been led in conjunction with our Parks and Recreation Department. Director of Parks and Rec, Director Jason Redmond. Good morning, Director.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Chairman.
Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Commissioners. Beginning in the 1990s, gaming went from a casual hobby to an organized professional sport. Today, competitive professional gaming, also known as esports, is a billion-dollar industry. Championships are watched live by tens of millions of people, and their potential Olympic debut is on the horizon.
Where in the world was I?
It's a big sport. In the U.S., over 600 colleges and universities have added varsity esports teams and/or scholarships for esports. And in 2018, Play VS announced a partnership to bring esports to over 19,000 high schools. The numbers clearly show that esports are here to stay. In 2021, Parks and Recreation opened the 700-square-foot Grady Jarrett Resource Opportunity Center, which was a part of the SPLOST-funded renovations at Johnson Park. The room features technology and esports equipment and is used to help teens register for college, apply for employment, and host esports tournaments and leagues. We're also working on a partnership with Morris Brown to help educate participants of esports on the workforce aspect of the sport. Rockdale County is home to Eastside Esports, which is led by Ms. Gina Dawson. The mission of Eastside Esports League is to increase awareness of esports in the community, encourage young talent to engage in team play, promote friendly competition, and educate esports players on all aspects of esport industry. This includes health and wellness, scholarships and recruiting, game development, streaming, and beyond. I would like to acknowledge and welcome esports to the Parks and Recreation family, as they are our first organization to operate an esports league in partnership out of the Grady Jarrett Resource Opportunity Center.
Fantastic.
Wow.
I would like to present you with this small plaque, small token of our appreciation, and it says Rockdale County Parks and Recreation proudly recognizes Eastside Esports for a great inaugural season, July 12, 2022. Thank you. You turn around and get a picture. You want to make it?
I just want to thank the chairman and the commissioners and the Parks and Recreation for allowing us to be an approved vendor through Johnson Park, and we're really excited. We've launched virtually. We're working on a free summer program for kids, and we're working with kids all over the world. Wow. We're working with a National Scholastic Esports Federation, and we are working with kids in the Middle East and North Africa in conjunction with our children. They're learning about each other's cultures through Minecraft. Oh, so wow. It's been a really amazing program, and we look forward to continuing on and being in our space.
Yeah, well, we are certainly glad that you are here in Rockdale County. There's a lot of folks, probably a few people in this audience, but certainly folks watching this broadcast that just don't have a clue as to what esports is all about.
Absolutely.
I want you to take another few seconds or two
Sure.
and just kind of educate us a little bit.
Sure. So our particular esports program is not going to be hyper competitive. We are going to be more supportive of the scholastic esports and educating the parents and the kids on the esports career ecosystem and the pathways that they could take in their profession. So introducing them to recruiters for college and showing those recruiters that they have a background in team esports play makes them a better candidate for scholarship. My son was offered $30,000 to go to a college and play Rocket League, just like a soccer player or a football player on scholarship.
Wow.
So it is out there, and it's getting bigger, and it's getting more organized. And the upper echelon of the leadership here in Atlanta for esports are doing a really great job of staying connected, communicating with each other, including everybody in this space, and really creating some unique opportunities for these kids. And we're one of the few programs that are working with children 8 to 17 in this area right now.
You just really brought a whole lot of meaning to why it's so important that Rockdale County Parks and Recreation has now embraced esports. Then you made mention of the $30,000 scholarship. That's music to any parent's
It's a big deal.
For a
It's a
kid
very
going to
big
college.
deal.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
And I understand these kids are making a lot of money.
They can, but the opportunities for profession are there too.
Okay.
The career opportunities are there. And plugging these kids in at this age, the people who are running programs right now want these kids to stay persistent, stay engaged, network, and that's what the opportunities that we're going to be providing to these kids is to open doors for them that they wouldn't have if they weren't plugged into a program like this.
Outstanding. Give it up for Eastside Esports. I have to, Commissioners, commend Director Redmond and his vision. I remember as he was transitioning from Deputy Director into the role of Director, he gave me an earful about the importance of esports. And I didn't have a clue as to what he was talking about. And he said, Chairman, I'm telling you, this is the hottest thing, the greatest thing going. And I see his colleague, Mr. Franklin, is here with him as well from, they do a wonderful job over at Johnson Park and all throughout Parks and Recreation here in Rockdale County. We're just fortunate to have so many talented people and even to be able to be on the cutting edge of what's new for our young people in our community. Esports is a big deal, and so glad to have Eastside Esports here this morning. So thank you for that. Thank you, Director Redmond and Mr. Franklin, for all of what you all are doing with Parks and Recreation and keeping us relevant with new ideas and new ways of doing, new ways of engaging our young people and our community as a whole. Our next special recognition.
I got one little comment.
Yes.
I was reading an article this morning about esports, and Georgia is one of the leaders in esports because they have such a strong network, and there's a organization. It's just sort of like Gina was saying, that keeps everybody in the loop, and Jason mentioned it's $1 billion industry, and it's $455 million here in Georgia, I think I read. So it's really a big deal.
It is.
Plus the opportunities for the kids.
Absolutely.
My nephew, when he was transitioning from high school to going into the military, instead of getting a job at a fast food restaurant, that's what he did. He made videos for money, and I couldn't understand it until I started getting more into it, but that's exactly what he did. So I guess we have to come into the 21st century.
Yeah, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. But to both of y'all's comment, I mean, we're spot on in the fact that Rockdale County, as I stated, is relevant,
yeah.
and we're embracing it, and that's important. The fact that we're embracing it and making sure that we facilitate opportunities for the youth in our community. Next up is Mr. Michael Coleman, Attorney Michael Coleman, and he is going to talk about Commissioner Williams. You're going to be really excited to get this report.
Oh, I was really excited to read through it.
Come on, absolutely. Attorney Coleman, come on up. He's going to talk about Equal Business Opportunity Program here in Rockdale County. 2 years ago, in the State of the County address, we announced that we are making sure that DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, as relate to opportunities for procurement and contracts in Rockdale County, that we're playing by the rules, and we're facilitating opportunities for everybody in the community to sit at the table here in Rockdale County when it comes to opportunities to do business with our community. I'm going to yield to Attorney Coleman. This is what he's been doing, part of his lifelong work. He can explain a whole lot better than I can. Attorney Coleman.
Chairman Osmond, Commissioner Williams, and Commissioner Washington, the directors and members of the public, thank you for the opportunity to tell you a little bit about what we plan to do to help Rockdale County develop an equal business opportunity program. I'd like to start with a little bit of a history lesson. Back in the mid-'70s, when Maynard Jackson was elected as mayor of Atlanta, becoming the first African-American mayor of a major southern city, one of the things he did early in his tenure was declare that the benefits of doing business with the city were going to be shared equally. And much to the consternation of the established business community, he was very firm about that. His first major project in that respect had to do with the Atlanta airport.
Yes. When
he declared that 25% of the contracts by the city would go to African Americans or other minorities. Of course, the business community balked. They held up the airport construction. They just wouldn't do it for a while. He said, okay, we won't do it. Eventually, they gave in. He won the day on that, and the airport was constructed on time and under budget, with 25% of the contracts being let. That experience caused Atlanta to become the real leader in developing these diversity programs, and that model became a model across the country. Many other jurisdictions adopted it, and it proceeded and Mayor Jackson stayed on for 8 years. The program thrived. The economic fortunes of many underprivileged people were lifted up through the program. It's helped transform the city to the city it is today, and I think the region. Unfortunately, the program became under attack, and there became a concerted effort by a number of large conservative legal organizations to dismantle the programs on constitutional grounds. It met with a lot of success in the federal courts. So in 1989, the seminal case in the area was the Croson case, and it set parameters, which I'll talk about in a minute, about what you have to do, and what you have to do now is different than what was done then. So we're trying to develop a program that will fit within the current legal framework. Our study team will consist of myself and Vince Egan, Dr. Vince Egan, heading up the program. I've been practicing law in Atlanta for many years, more years than I care to say, but I've had experience in the government. I served as a city attorney for Mayor Jackson. He came through for his third term in the 90s, and I've worked with several very large law firms. I have defended the city of Atlanta's program against legal attack by the Southeastern Legal Foundation. We litigated that case, helped the city to develop a new modern program through that process, and have stayed up in this area for many years. The team is being co-headed by Dr. Vince Egan, who I've brought on under a contract with my law firm. Dr. Egan is a doctor of economics, I should say, and also a lawyer, and is really a real star in this field. And that's me. If you hit the next tab, you'll see that's one of my colleagues, Jonathan Nussbaum, who's with my law firm, a very strong constitutional lawyer, and will help with the legal analysis. Next tab will be Vince Egan. Dr. Egan is one of the real heavyweights in this space. He's consulted with the Department of Commerce on business development, minority business development. He got a law degree from Harvard. He's got a doctorate in economics from Georgia State. He's been involved in over 140 disparity studies, which is what you have to do is develop full-scale race-based programs now. And he's really a heavyweight, and we're very fortunate to have him. And then finally, Hope Smith, on the next tab, is also an expert in data collection and data assessment. And those are going to be the members of the team. The approach we're going to take will be to first collect some data, just to give you a little bit about what the current legal framework is. I mentioned the Croson case. The Croson case stated that these programs were suspect and therefore deserving of what's called strict scrutiny by the Supreme Court or by the federal courts, which means that you have to demonstrate, you have to have a program that has strong factual basis. You have to demonstrate historic discrimination. You have to demonstrate, you have to have developed the program so that it is, is narrowly tailored, and it requires, in many instances, what's called disparity studies. And disparity studies are very, very detailed studies. And that's, again, Dr. Egan has done many of those. And many jurisdictions for race-based programs will use disparity studies. However, but disparity studies are extremely expensive, running into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and certainly for a county of our size, you wouldn't want to spend that kind of money to get this done. So what we're going to do is not going to be a disparity study. Disparity studies generally require detailed market analysis, a 5-year analysis of the utilization and availability. And I think I'm getting away from the screen, so I'll go back. So our objectives in what we're going to do is to try and develop programs short of a disparity study, but which will meet with, we think, will be race neutral, but hopefully have the effect, and we expect it to have the effect of increasing the opportunities for all disadvantaged business enterprises, which will include minorities, but also include others who are disadvantaged. So next tab, please. So next tab, that is the legal framework that I discussed. Now, this is not a disparity study. We won't have that kind of market analysis. We won't be collecting subcontracting data, which is generally collected in disparity studies. We won't be decomposing the utilization and availability data. All those things that are typically done in a disparity study won't be a part of what we're doing. Again, the cost is really prohibitive to do that, and not something that I would recommend or want to do for you at that expense. So our approach is going to be to conduct an analysis of the data, some data that you have, and we've already started that process, actually. Mr. Lewis has been great in helping us get off the ground and getting this thing implemented. He has fielded several requests from our team for data. I think there's a data assessment meeting with he and his team tomorrow, I believe. So we're already underway. So what we're going to do is, the purpose of the data assessment is to kind of see what you have been doing, what is the availability, where do we tailor the programs that we're going to try to implement for you. All of that will be based on the data and the data assessment that's being done. And after the data assessment is done, we're going to conduct assessment and review of that data, develop some policies that you could implement. There could be things like outreach programs or disadvantaged business enterprise policies and various things like that you could implement that would help you attract and make people aware of the opportunities here. we're going to conduct interviews at some point after the data assessment, policy interviews, so we'll be interviewing various participants in the process to get a sense of the old Disparity Studies had with a component of what they call anecdotal studies, where they did a lot of anecdotal evidence collection, where we're going to do interviews, which is a little different, but it'll have the effect of giving us some guidance in terms of where we need to focus the attention here.
Attorney Coleman,
Yes.
let me just say this. We certainly appreciate the work of you and your team. You have a very well qualified team that is seems to be very in-depth with this information. I'll give hats off to my colleague, Commissioner Williams, for leading this charge and making sure that we start this analysis. I also appreciate the fact that you broke down that we're not doing a disparity study.
Correct.
I believe that speaks to the volume of very positive interaction the Rockdale County Board of Commissioners and our government as a whole have had with vendors in our community, and making sure that we let folks know there's an equal opportunity here in Rockdale County to conduct business with the county. We realized that we didn't have a lot of policies in place. We knew that there needed to be some other things to kind of spruce it up a little bit. And the fact that we were able to connect with you and your firm and the team of folks and the level of talent that you have to make sure you steer us in the right direction. One of the things I'll make mention, Commissioner Williams, is that Attorney Coleman flat out, after about 2 weeks of looking at what we presented to him initially, said, look, there's no need for a disparity study in Rockdale County. You guys are moving in the right direction. We can clean up and smooth out a few of the rough edges and make sure that we do more outreach and people understand that there is an opportunity. Once we do that, then I think the other part of it is for those folks who are interested in conducting business with the county, they've got to come forward. But the other part of it is they've got to come correct. They've got to have their stuff in order. In other words, they have to be licensed and bonded and all of those things, and make sure that they are coming to the table correctly at the seat of procurement to make sure that they have all of those prerequisites and those requirements mandated by our procurement office in order to do business with Rockdale County. I've heard over the years a lot of folks, a few people, not a lot, but a few people have complained that they've not been made aware of contractual or agreements with the county. And I'm saying everything we do is public record. It's all out there. You're only not aware because you're not tuned in. And then once you get tuned in, you got to have your stuff together. You got to be in order. So this is a big, big step. Commissioner Williams, what led you in this direction? I think this is really important because I remember over 2 years ago, this is something that you started.
And I met with Attorney Coleman. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I think it was at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes, it was.
Because I think it's important that we just make sure that we are outreaching and that we are, have those policies in place, that we can reach all of the credible businesses, regardless of who they are or what they are or any of that. I think, it's that opportunity that's for everybody.
Absolutely.
And so I appreciate the work.
So I think what you'll find is that programs like this have a ripple effect to the extent that you've gotten more successful, diverse folks involved, and they will go out and engage and hire more people and create new job opportunities and create opportunities for professionals, and it just has a real ripple effect throughout the community, and I think you'll find that.
And I think too, like you said, it's a ripple effect, and once they figure out how to become a preferred vendor for the county, well, then they can go to other government entities and expand, and that doesn't do anything but help all of us.
Helps the whole community.
Commissioner Washington?
I'd just like to thank you for the work that you're doing for us. Definitely commend Commissioner Williams on the vision and the fortitude to see this through. I'm looking forward to having this policy in place so that we can help small businesses in the county.
Absolutely.
Attorney Coleman, thank you so much. Thank you for your presentation this morning. We appreciate the work that you and your team are doing on behalf of Rockdale County.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Thank you so much. All right. Director Rutledge, we're going to move on now to the approval of the agenda.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, if we could take just a moment, and commissioners, sometimes really good things happen outside of agenda deadlines.
Yes.
And one of those is here this morning. We have Chief Mack, who is here this morning, who would like to take a brief opportunity to recognize something very special that happened over the July 4th holiday.
Outstanding. We love good news. Come on up, Chief Mack. Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioners.
Good morning.
Executive Director Rutledge, thank you very much. If I may invite Captain Bo Russell up and my Deputy Fire Chief Jackson and Deputy Fire Chief Webb up to the podium. There's a commercial where I believe they're advertising nursing and the importance of nurses, and they're in this marathon race, and the guy collapsed and the nurse provides life-saving CPR. Well, Captain Bo Russell, this past 4th of July, he and his son was participating in the Peachtree Road Race. And not only is he captain with Rockdale County Fire Rescue as well as a paramedic, he's also a nurse.
Wow. Wow.
They were probably a mile or so in to the race, and this gentleman collapsed in front of him. And thanks to his quick actions, this guy is alive today.
Oh, wow.
It just shows that Rockdale County Fire Rescue men and women, they're just as dedicated off the job as they are on the job. And another thing I want to highlight is that once he stepped in and started providing care, Atlanta Fire Rescue, who was providing EMS coverage, they have a mobile medic response team. And the mobile medic response team is there because oftentimes things happen where engine can't get to. Well, Rockdale County, we implemented a mobile medic response team last year and started them off with the concert series, and they're out and about for the trails and things. Captain Bo Russell oversees that along with our chief of EMS. So I want to bring him up and say a couple of words, talk a little bit about it that he wasn't prepared to do. Come on up. Tell me a little bit about what happened.
Okay, about the event or the? Okay, absolutely. Well, I'd like to make 2 points. One is this is a great example of how everybody in this room can do what I did. American Heart Association, for the layperson, advises hands-only CPR, quick compressions, and acting quickly, and that has a positive outcome. Really increases the chances of living. And so that's something that everybody here can do, everybody watching, that they can do. And you can learn all that online. There's classes you can take, and that's something that everybody is capable of. To highlight the bike medic team, we also had 2 individuals there, Sergeant Wesley Sparks and Sergeant Mike Lee, that were at the Peachtree representing Rockdale County and assisting, standing by. So kudos to them and Rockdale County getting involved in some really big events. The bike medic team's great. We do a lot of events here in Old Town, and it's really hard to get an engine or an ambulance there, get people there, but having bikes and having people ready and available with equipment, we can get there quickly and start working. So thank you very much for investing in us, and we'll continue to take care of the citizens.
Absolutely.
Let's give Captain Russell another round of applause.
So real quick, I want to present to you, Captain Bo Russell, Life-Saving Award to Captain Bo Russell for actions taken on July 4th, 2022, whereby time was of the essence. Captain Bo Russell demonstrated knowledge and courage by administering life-saving cardiopulmonary resuscitation to a gentleman who had collapsed while running the Peachtree Road Race. Presented July 12th, 2022, Rockdale County Board of Commissioners, by Rockdale County Fire Rescue and the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department.
So did you run the race this year?
I didn't run the race this year, but had I known Captain Russell was out there, I may have run, because there could have been a chance that I would have needed him. But I tell you, I've run 5 Peachtree Road races, and I tell you, seriously, number one, Captain Russell was not working, he was running, he was participating, he and his son, but it was a blessing that he was there. And all of the information he just provided about the importance of our bike medic unit here in Rockdale County. I heard several things in that presentation. Number one, they were participating in a regional event. The Peachtree Road Race is the biggest 10K in the whole world. So that was, to have our bike medic unit represented on that scale is a big deal. Just simply having him there, knowing what he was doing to be able to respond to that particular runner, saved that person's life. But then I heard the fact that he's not just a firefighter, he's a nurse. So the fact that we in Rockdale County have that level of talent on board with our fire and rescue, that's just peace of mind to every Rockdale citizen, because you never know when and where you're going to need that type of assistance. So let's give Captain Russell another round of applause. Chief Mack, I know it was part of your vision to implement the bike medic unit, and we're so proud to have them. And as you mentioned, they've been out at the summer concert series. They're there to help out during the events. And then they've participated in several, as he made mention, local events here in Old Town Conyers. This event that we have coming up this weekend, where myself and Pastor Lee will be leading that mile-long walk over at Johnson Park. If you can just whisper in Captain Russell's ear, it may be a good idea for him to be present on this Saturday morning, if at all possible. Absolutely. But I think about the vision and the innovative thinking of our fire chief and the leadership team that she has. It really brings, it pleases us to know that Rockdale County is really moving in a direction that embraces talent, seeking out the right talent, but having an innovative mindset. Let's give Chief Mack another round of applause. Thank you so much, Executive Director Rutledge, for including that in to our presentations. And I've just got one more thing I want to throw in, Commissioners. Today we have visiting as one of my extra special guests. Miss Kayla Brown is here. She's a young lady who's in our local school system, and she's been one of my mentees for a number of years. She's coming on up. Come on up, Kayla, and tell us who you are, what school you attend, and what some of your future plans are.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Jayla Brown, and I'm a rising ninth grader at Heritage High School. And my future plans is to be a physical therapist to help NFL players or NBA players to get back to what they love doing and doing what they love for their family.
All right, give Jayla a round of applause. So Jayla told me this morning that she has a strong interest in becoming a physical therapist. She just suffered a little slight injury over the summer herself, and she had to do a little recovering there, Director Redmond. But she's on track, and we're getting her connected with the CEO of Rockdale Piedmont Hospital so that she can actually shadow a physical therapist right here in Rockdale County. When young people, give her another round of applause. And I really have to give hats off to Jayla's parents. Her mother, Miss Pam Brown, is one of our school board trustees here in Rockdale County, serving the Rockdale County Public School System as a board member. And Miss Brown has had Jayla involved in multiple events and activities. I remember as a younger kid, she was in and around several of the programs we've had, and that's what it's all about. Exposing our youth, exposing our young people to many different opportunities. And today she decided so I'm getting to hang out with a celebrity. We're going to have lunch here right after the meeting, and I'm not telling you where we're going, so stay. I know how you are, Commissioner. You can't follow us, we'll have an escort. Y'all give Jayla another round of applause. Thank you so much. We're going to move now into our agenda this morning, Commissioners. Item number 4 is the approval of the agenda. What is your pleasure?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The approval of the minutes of June 28th, 2022. What's your pleasure, Commissioners?
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
I'm hesitating because I wasn't there that day.
Okay.
I second that motion. It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. There is no unfinished business. We're going to move right into the regular agenda, starting with item 2022-308.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Just a reminder, we have no consent agenda this morning, so I'll be going item by item.
All right.
All right. So, item 308 is with Youth Mobile LLC for the accountability courts, the non-emergency transportation for accountability court clients for all the program activities. It's a unit price contract, $15 one way per person, $18 after hours and on holidays, 1 year with option to renew 2 additional 12-month periods.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 309 is with Marchman Consulting with the Superior Court Accountability Courts to provide a variety of services for multiple grants for program operations and evaluation services. It's change order number 1 to contract 2021-113, an increase in hourly rate to $100, and to renew the term through September 30th, 2023.
I move to approve the contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions regarding this item? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 310 is with North America Fire Equipment Company Incorporated, also known as NAFCO, for the Fire and Rescue Department for fire personnel protective clothing. This is change order number 1 to contract 2021-92. It's a unit cost. It's an average 10% price increase from the current prices are also good through July 12, 2022, and to renew the contract term through June 21st, 2023.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 311 is with Hanson Aggregates Southeast LLC for the Stormwater Management Department. It's a unit price aggregates on an as-needed basis. It's an estimated $57,100 per year. It's 1 year with 3 additional 1-year options to renew.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
I'm sorry.
Next item.
Okay, thank you. Item 312 is with TCS Films LLC through the Parks and Recreation Department. This is for the permission to use the courthouse located at 922 Main Street for the filming of Stenographer and parking work truck crews and the crew cars. The revenue amount is $8,700. The term is June 18th, 2022 through June 19th, 2022, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 313 is with Interdev LLC for the Technology Services Department for GIS solutions analysis for the implementation of the ArcGIS enterprise deployment. It's change order number 1 to contract 2021-170 to continue the implementation of the ArcGIS enterprise deployment in the amount of $9,600, and this is a one-time event.
I move to approve the contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
Item 314 is a requisition for the Technology Services Department and the Board of Assessors. This is Data Cloud Solutions LLC for the CAMA Cloud software and implementation. Year 1 is $42,895.34. Year 2 is $9,653.30. Year 3 is $9,653.30, and this is a host-funded expenditure.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 315 is a requisition through the Stormwater Management Department for Southeast Culvert. It's for corrugated steel culvert pipe in the amount of $25,092.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 316 is a requisition through the Stormwater Management Department for Cherokee Culvert Company Incorporated. This is for 18-inch to 42-inch piping in the amount of $38,292.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Any question? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 317 is an expenditure request for Atkins North America Incorporated through the Transportation Department. This is for the Courtesy Parkway Infra Grant application in the amount of $20,000, and this is a SPLOST-funded expenditure.
Outstanding.
I move to approve the expenditure as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Any movement on Courtesy Parkway is good.
Yes, yes.
I agree. All right, item 318 is the surplus of equipment through the Parks and Recreation Department. The Senior Services Division is requesting surplus.
I move to declare this item as surplus as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 319 is an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County as amended by rezoning 2660 Old Salem Road Southeast from R1 to CRS to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading this morning.
I move to defer the second reading of this ordinance to the next regularly scheduled board meeting.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. So let me just take a point of privilege there. I'm just going to very briefly, because first of all, I want to say thank you to all of the residents that have come out this morning. I want to thank you for several things. Number one, I want to thank you for sending several emails. Anytime the office of the chairman has an opportunity to see a unified front of our citizens coming together. We've got multiple subdivisions that have come together, and you all have done a fantastic job sending in emails and expressing your concerns. What we're going to do, we're going to allow our planning and development department to do more due diligence, more homework. But I wanted to make sure, commissioners, because we have to listen to the voice of our citizens. And folks have taken their time to come out this morning and to express their concerns. And I want to say to you all three of us hear you. Before we entertain this, because it's going through the process, we want to continue to allow the planning and development department to do their work. And we'll come back at the appropriate time, and we'll also offer an opportunity for you to have a voice at this table. So I just wanted to say that. Don't feel like your time and effort this morning was in vain, because it certainly was not. I have received multiple emails. Whoever is your spokesperson or your chief communication person, he or she has done their job. So I want to just tell you thank you so much. But I ask that you be patient with us as we try to make sure that we provide the facts. And let me just go a little bit deeper here without breaking the rules. A lot of the concerns, first of all, Rockdale County embraces economic development. We have to have economic development in order to move the community forward. At the same time, there has to be balance, and that's where we come in. That's where you come in. So we've heard from you. So that I don't break the rules with comments, I want to stop right there, say thank you for coming out. Thank you for sending in your multiple emails and some of the text messages that I also received. Thank you for that as well. We hear you. We're going to go and lean toward our planning and development department and their leadership to do their job and bring back the information so that myself and the commissioners can make a complete decision on behalf of what's best for Rockdale County as a whole. You can continue to send the emails. That's fine. We welcome them, because I think it's a beautiful look when our citizens come together and on behalf of our community as a whole, and that's very important. So just bear with us, and let's make sure we do that. I know that we have Director Rutledge, and we're not there yet. We're almost there. We have several comment cards for a public comment this morning. Now that the commissioners and I are deferring this item, we're putting it on hold. That means, and Representative Dickerson, you know exactly what I mean. We're not taking it off of the agenda. We're deferring it. We're giving our Planning and Development Office, or department, an opportunity to do more work, and we'll come back to this. So please bear with us. I wanted to acknowledge y'all's presence this morning, and I certainly wanted to acknowledge the multiple emails and the correspondence that we've received without breaking the rules in terms of this whole process that we're going through. So thank you so much in that regard. Did we close out this one?
So, Mr. Chairman, I hear you. I hear you throwing it over to me now, and he's not breaking the rules yet, but we can't allow public comment on this item today. I just want to make sure that is clarified, and of course, the planning director will follow up with you all to let you know what the next steps are in the process.
Absolutely.
So just make sure I got that out there. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Did we close out the movement on this one?
Yes.
Okay, we did.
Defer.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Thank you so much. All right, next item, please.
Did we vote?
Not at this time. If you have any questions, what I would suggest that you talk with our Planning and Development Director, stand up, Director Johnson, at the end of the meeting. We're going to move forward with the remainder of the meeting. I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge and recognize y'all's presence and say thank you to you. So if you would see Director Johnson after the meeting, there won't be any public comment, as the director has pointed out, regarding this particular item. And I wanted to make it clear on that.
So it's my understanding that while it's still going through the public hearing process, which it is,
Yes.
that the commissioners are not to be involved with the public in comments and
Not
conversations?
directly, but citizens can continue to send emails and written correspondence to the commissioners, but they need to really work through the planning director.
Right.
All the information has been received. We've had the public hearing through the Planning Commission and with the Board of Commissioners. So at this point, it's with the Planning Department.
Absolutely, and thank you. That was a great question,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams. Directing your comments and concerns to the Director of Planning and Development. You can still copy us. You can still let your elected officials, you can still copy us in terms of expressing, as you've done a fantastic job doing that, but in terms of the work itself and working out the technical part of this whole process, Director Johnson and his team in the Planning and Development Department, they are leading that process. We have to respect the process as it's going through the hearing process currently, and we all understand those rules. And that was one of the reasons Executive Director Rutledge wanted to make it clear that we will not allow the public comment at this meeting. And while I've taken so much time to say thank you, and we're acknowledging your presence, and say please bear with us, it's on the radar, and the commissioners and I are certainly processing all of this.
Okay, and then just to be clear, because I did have a question, now we had a lot of talk, we have a motion and a second and a deferral. All in favor? We voted, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I
great.
believe we did.
I believe we did.
Well, let's clear that up. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. It's going to be deferred.
Thank you.
We'll make sure all minds are clear.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Next item, please.
All right, thank you. Item 320 is an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County as amended by rezoning 0 Sigmund Road Northwest, 0 Ship Circle Northwest, and 0 Orrin Bridge Road Northwest from R1 to CRS, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading this morning.
I'm going to hold tight and give them
Okay.
a minute to transition, then we'll come back. Just give them one quick second. We had a good number of folks that came out on that earlier issue. I want to respectfully give them a chance to, those that have to leave, if they gotta leave. So when we talk, they can hear what you're saying.
So mine is more of a question, because my stance on this one is the same as my stance on the second one. I think that the issues are the same. The question should be the same. If we're talking about the effects on the school system, on transportation, on water and sewer, if if we have questions about those things for, Salem Road, we should have the same questions and the same processes should be implemented for Sigmund Road. The fact that Sigmund Road is not as unified and doesn't have as many people out speaking or seemingly concerned doesn't say that the questions and the issues aren't the same. So if we're going to defer it for Salem Road, I would like to defer for Sigmund Road also, so that we can start a more unified process of answering all the questions together and then vote on approval or a second. So the script has me approving the second reading. I'm not there, so if you all want to approve it, but my motion would be to defer it also.
So thank you, Commissioner Washington, for taking the point of privilege to share that. I want to now yield to our clerk because I think it's important. What I don't want to do, I hear clearly what Commissioner Washington is outlining, but I don't want to couple these two separate projects together and create a convoluted situation. Director Rutledge, bring me some clarity in terms of what's your recommendation as our parliamentarian to make sure that we're moving in the right direction in regards and in respect to what Commissioner Washington just pointed out.
Right. So I think what's going on right now is there are several issues that were provided that when we had the public hearing last time, it was, the questions were, what is the school system? What's the sewer capacity? What's, there were a couple of things. And
Transportation.
yes, the transportation study. Now, it is my understanding that that information is available for both of these applications.
Okay.
But what made the Sigmund Road different is that there was a site plan that was added, that was an addendum to this application, and then the road bed that the gentleman that spoke, that was deemed to not be an easement but an old road bed. But I would have to get further clarification from the planning department if they have not provided the information for Sigmund Road. And we were told that there was, I don't think the sewer was an issue with this one, but they did have the capacity for the schools had been provided. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, could you please come to the podium? Thank you.
Director Johnson.
Because I am in favor
Director of
of,
Planning
if
and
the commissioner and the board does not have the information that they have sought for these applications, then you should defer it. However, if that information is available, it needs to be provided so that you have comfort in making your vote.
Absolutely. Director Johnson, our Director of Planning and Development, based on what you're hearing this morning, Director Johnson, and the concern from Commissioner Washington, based on that, what is your recommendation to the BOC at this time?
First of all, good morning.
Good morning.
Chairman and Commissioners. At our zoning hearing, this particular item, Sigmund Road, there were no concerns. The traffic that was not raised at the hearing. The schools, the applicant actually brought evidence that somewhat gets refuted the issue of schools and some of the data that I had seen as well. Your comment then, Commissioner Washington, was you didn't like his layout site plan, lack of amenities, and it was somewhat bland. He did provided that, which I provided to you all. He has a lot of green space, open space. He's talking about donating some property to the county possibly. The issue of the easement, as Executive Rutledge mentioned, it was not an actual easement. Again, it was just an abandoned road bed. But this is one that we support. I mean, you wanted us to go back, wanted him to go back and provide a more detailed site plan showing amenities, green space, how he would actually lay out the area, which he did. And actually talked to him this morning or last night. He may lose a couple of units for the guest parking, which is a requirement, but that's one that we support based on what he has.
So what is your recommendation?
My recommendation is that
Johnson.
we move forward with that one.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. All right.
Yeah, I really liked the new site plan that he sent. It had 2 dog parks, and it had lots of trails and a pond, in addition to the stormwater.
So before we move forward, I want to make sure, because Commissioner Washington raised the concern, Commissioner, now that you've heard from the director and the support of Commissioner Williams, what is your pleasure at this time? Do you prefer to make a motion to defer it, or do you want to move forward with it as stand, not coupling, bringing both of these projects together? What is your pleasure?
I would still want to defer. That's my motion.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to give the commission an opportunity to clearly make her motion,
Okay.
and then
I
we'll
hear
follow
you.
suit.
Okay.
I move to defer the second reading of this ordinance as presented.
So motion fails?
Okay.
All right.
Motion fails. So it has been properly motioned with no second at all. It appears that this one will go forward.
So we'll need another motion.
And so,
So I move to
Commissioner?
approve the first read, or the second read, and adopt the ordinance as presented.
It's been properly motioned, and I second that motion. And it's been properly motioned and second, and motion carries. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
All opposed?
Opposed.
Are you opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good. That's the process.
All right.
All right, next item, please.
Thank you. Item 321 is an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County as amended by rezoning 3031 Highway 138 from AR to CRS to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
So I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions or concerns? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 322 is an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County as amended by rezoning 0 Glen Road Northeast from R1 to RM, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 323 is with Ashton Atlanta Residential LLC. This is for the dedication of public water and sewer agreement and documentation.
I move to approve this agreement as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 324 is with A Action Janitorial Service Incorporated through the General Services Department. This is for general janitorial and custodial services at various county facilities. It's change order number 4 to contract 2020-90. This is to add cleaning services at the district attorney's space for staff at the Koch building for 5 days a week per month. It's an additional $1,732.59 per month.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 325 is with the University of Georgia through the Cooperative Extension Service. This is the annual contract agreement for personnel in the amount of $105,160. The term is January 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023.
So I had a question on that one. The rest of their salaries comes from UGA? Is that?
Director Holmes, Director Holmes is our executive director of talent management, and she's going to come up and provide an answer to Commissioner Williams. Director Holmes.
Yes, Madam Commissioner. Part of their salary is funded by the University of Georgia. This particular contract does include the increases as a result of the market study as well, so they did include that with this contract. So that portion of it, they're asking that the county go ahead and take care of.
I move to approve the contract as presented.
I second that
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. Are there any additional comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 326 is with the Hospital Authority of Rockdale County for the Parks and Recreation Department. This is the Youth Summer Programming Mental Health Awareness Grant in the amount of $3,000, and it's submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 327 is Reftelis Financial Consultants Incorporated for the Stormwater Management and Finance Departments. This is the stormwater rate evaluation and implementation in the amount of $448,700, and the term is 12 months.
I move to approve the contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 328 is the appointment of the Director of Water Resources. It would be Kimberly L. Peak, Sr.
I move to approve this appointment as presented.
I second the motion.
It has been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Director Holmes, come on up. Yes.
Good morning again, Madam
Good
Commissioners,
morning.
Chairman.
Morning.
So we are excited. Item number 328, it is the recommendation of Mr. Peak for the appointment of Director of Water Resources. Mr. Peak comes to us with over 29 years of experience in the areas of construction and operations management, capital improvement, watershed management, and public works. He has extensive experience with the City of Atlanta, most recently serving in the Watershed Management Department as the Watershed Director 2. He also worked in public works / wastewater for the City of Atlanta, as well as public works for the City of College Park. He has a Bachelor of Business Administration degree in Operations Management and has several certifications and licenses, specifically with the National Association of Sewer Service, licensing with the Georgia Soil and Water Conservation, as well as licensing with wastewater collection and water distribution. Mr. Peak is here today.
All right. Let's give him a round of applause. Come on up, Mr. Peak. Welcome aboard and congratulations, Director Peak. We'll yield to you for a couple of comments about your vision with the Rockdale Water Resources Department.
Okay, first I'd like to say good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
And I'd like to thank Chairman Nesbitt and the Board of Commissioners. I'm very excited about this appointment. I also like to thank the executive directors, thank you. I'm very excited about this appointment. I look forward to working with you all, working with Rockdale County Water Resources. My goal right now is to continue to be a successful operation with Rockdale County Water Resources. That's my goal, that's my vision. So I'm very excited to grow with this team.
Well, we certainly are fortunate to have you on board, and we thank you for agreeing to be a part of the Rockdale County team.
Absolutely.
One of the things, Commissioners, when we had an opportunity to talk to now Director Peak, he put a lot of emphasis on customer service as well as the technical aspect of running a water program, watershed, like we have here in Rockdale County. One of the things that stood out was his organizational management skills of making sure that he is a hands-on, he talked about being a hands-on leader, being out there in the field, in the trenches, and leading by example. So we are so glad to have him on board, and we got a lot of work for you.
Okay, all right.
And we look forward to having you on. I'm going to yield to Commissioner Washington at this time.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So last week, as a matter of fact, I was at it was an economic development symposium sponsored by the men of Kappa Alpha Psi, but it was in Covington, and we often do things together. And the commissioners there were touting the fact that they just won an award for the best tasting water.
Okay.
I want that award.
Okay. All right.
I want that
All right.
award.
All right.
That needs to be on the top of your to-do list.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I need that crown.
Okay.
All right.
Definitely.
Commissioner Williams?
We've had that one.
Yeah, we've had
I know, but that's what,
Okay.
and that was the debate.
Okay.
That was the debate. I want it back.
Okay.
I want that back.
And right before I left City of Atlanta, we just won the gold award for our wastewater.
I need
He
that.
knows how to get us there.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Commissioner
Okay.
Williams?
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate your taking the opportunity to work with us, and we look forward to having you
Yes,
on
ma'am.
board.
Thank you.
Let's give Director Peak another round of applause. I don't want to glaze over the fact that finding talent in this very competitive workforce market out here, because it's tough. Right now is people have several options, and be able to identify talent that will be interested in working here in Rockdale County is very, very important. When we get people who are skilled and talented like Director Peake, Commissioner Washington, Commissioner Williams, that means a lot. Of course, it says a lot about Rockdale County, so we're certainly welcoming Director Peake on board, and I have him a nice new pair of roller skates because he's going to be rocking and rolling here in Rockdale County. All right, so next item, please.
Item 329 are amendments to the Rockdale County Employee Classification and Pay Plan as submitted by Talent Management.
I move to approve this item as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 330 is with Nearmap US Incorporated through the Technology Services Department. This is a subscription for the ArcGIS services integration, aerial imagery, and location data services for various county components in the amount of $19,172.10. This is for 10 months.
It's for 12 months.
12 months.
Oh, 12 months, thank you.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. But I'm going to tell you, the way that 10 and that dash by that 12,
Yes, I know.
at first glimpse of it looked like 10 instead of 12, but we
Yeah.
cleared that up. All right. Very good.
So all of the public comment I had were for the development issues. Did
Okay.
anybody else have any other comments today that weren't relative to public hearings? I don't think we have any items.
I'm going to take a moment again to say thank you to all of those that came out regarding the development on Old Salem Road. We certainly do appreciate you coming out and show of force. And again, I'm going to be redundant just a little bit. We appreciate the emails and the text messages, you expressing your concerns and wanting some clarification from the Board of Commissioners and the other stakeholders in our community. We're yielding to the Department of Planning and Development to allow them to do their due diligence and bring us back a presentation that will answer several of those concerns that we have. I also want to take a moment and entertain what Commissioner Washington pointed out too, because the concerns that have been expressed about the Old Salem Road project is not limited to the Old Salem Road project. When we think about Rockdale County as a whole, economic development impacts the entire county. We want to make sure that we have all of the infrastructure in place, all of the safety precautions in place. No one is saying stop the growth, but we're saying let's make sure there's a balance. Because if I turn my water faucet on today, I need to be able to still have water 2 years from now or 10 years from now. And if we're going to be able to bring in folks, let's make sure we have enough water for everybody. We have enough talented team of directors and experts that work in the county and all of our stakeholders throughout this community who also are going to impact the infrastructure of Rockdale County. We can gather that data, provide clarity about the future growth of Rockdale County, and make it make sense. If the county grows, you're going to need more fire services, more police services, more schools, enough water, the right kind of road. So we'll have all that information. I can't thank the residents that came out and who voiced their opinions. I can't thank you enough for the multiple emails and the concerns. Please bear with us. We want to make sure we do the right thing and that we give you an opportunity to hear from our department and our leadership, but we'll be back in touch. Now, for a point of clarity, Director Rutledge, are you at this time able to tell us when will this be, now that we've deferred it, because that's a concern of these residents. We have to respect their time. When will we have it back on the agenda after going through our process meal?
It will be back on the August 9th Board of Commissioners agenda.
August 9th. Thank you very much. I know folks want to know how to plan and schedule their time so they'll be able to be present at that time. But hopefully, not hopefully, but certainly between now and then, we'll have a concrete set of responses to be able to provide to those that are concerned about what's happening in our community. At this time, since there's no other public comments to address, I'm going to go right on into board comment, and Commissioner Washington, I'm going to start with you.
Don't have a whole lot, but I did want to piggyback off of some of the things that, my concerns about growth and development. Everybody knows that I am all about economic development, and I've said numerous times that we had to have rooftops in order to get, if you're on any of the social media sites, one stream of comments is that they want nice restaurants, they want Trader Joe's. There was a petition going around to get a Trader Joe's here. They want, they don't want the dental offices anymore. They don't want the gas stations. They want nice boutiques. They want all these quality development. But then you have the other, that is, they talk about smart growth, where, how are we growing? I think that the growth overall, when you look at the comprehensive plan, we're doing exactly what the plan was 20 years ago. In 2003, when you look at that comp plan, you see how it was laid out, you see where the density was supposed to be, you see how we're sticking to it. But it's the other things that we're not doing a good job conveying to the people of how we're growing that feeds into that comp plan. Meaning, we put several things on Flat Shoals Road, but we haven't communicated how we're going to address the traffic that's associated with putting those several things on Salem Road. We haven't come together with the school system to address at what point do we start preparing for new elementary schools, new middle schools, a new high school. My issue with the Rockdale County, yes, the gentleman to the planning meeting brought all the statistics for all the affected schools. Rockdale County High School, I think it had a capacity for 300 more students. That's today, right now, but there's development across the street from me in the old Millstead area. There's a development right across the street from Rockdale County High School. At what point are we developing where we need to start talking to the school system that we might need to look at adding new schools? Where are we, when do we get there? And I think that's what the people are asking us to do, is be more forthcoming in letting them know how we're fixing all the day-to-day problems. I've said it over and over again, traffic is a quality of life issue. And if we put 5 developments on Flat Shoals Road, the people who live there now, they have a vested interest in the amount of time that they're gonna be sitting on Flat Shoals Road, waiting for the school to let out, all of the things that they're concerned about. And I don't think that we have done a good enough job in letting the people know what the overall plan is for development, where we're going to put things. Now, with that being said, there are for sale signs all over this county. We can't stop people from buying these properties. Rockdale County is going to grow. It's our job to usher the growth in so that it's not overwhelming, that everybody is talking to one another, everybody's on the same page, everybody is marching to the same beat, so the growth will be positive. Because right now we're at a pivotal state in this county. We're either gonna be somewhere that people want to be or somewhere where people can be. And I wanna be in a community where people want to be here. They want to contribute to this community. They wanna keep it clean. They want to keep it, they want to be at home. They want to live, work, and play here. That's where I want to be. And I think that's what the people who are concerned about all of the development, they want to see that we have a overall plan for the development, what we're doing and what kinds of developments come here. This weekend, I went to a concert in Atlanta, and we were standing there getting ready to walk up to the venue, and this man had a styrofoam cup in his hand, and this lady walked up to him and said, "Why are you just holding that empty cup?" He said, "Look around." He said, "There's no trash around here, and I'm not going to be the one to throw any trash on the ground." He looked at his environment, he made an assessment, and he said he was not going to be the one to throw trash. And you looked around, and there was no trash on the ground. All the way up the hill to the venue, that man carried that styrofoam cup, and then when he found a trash receptacle, that's when he threw that trash away, because there was no trash anywhere. I'm saying that to say that people look at their environment to make an assessment on their behavior. So if a developer comes in here and they're going up and down Salem Road, and they're looking and they see major restaurants or any kind of businesses with torn up signs, and they see the grass up all of our major thoroughfares and we're not taking care of it, that's telling them what kind of development they can bring here. We have to do a better job of getting those things together, and we have to do a better job of telling overall communications of what kind of developments, and holding developers to that standard of what they're bringing into our community, who we want to be and why. And I'm done.
Commissioner Williams.
Okay. Well, I have nothing so philosophical, but I did want to point out that today on our agenda we had 2 items that entailed price increases. And that has consistently been a case over the last few months. I just wanted to point that out, that just like all of you with inflation, and, you know, my husband and I actually had to sit down and write out everything we had spent this last month, because it's not going as far. Yeah. And so we're going to have to know, you know, where we can save some dollars. And the same thing is happening with the county. And so we're all in this together. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about was I wanted to congratulate Director Redmond on the Hart Grant for the mental health clinician for Parks and Recreation. That is a really big deal. That the grant funds are being used to have a mental health clinician on site to conduct group activities with our youth as they are trying to come back into in-person activities and haven't really had a chance to address their own mental health necessarily during this the last couple of years. It's a big deal.
It is.
And I appreciate whoever thought of that and whoever wrote the application for the grant. And I'm really pleased with that. I have one comment that's just purely personal. It has to do with my vacation the last couple of weeks. We went to Arkansas, and people said, "What? You're going to Arkansas on your vacation?" It was hotter than blazes, much hotter than here. But Hot Springs, Arkansas, both my father's father and mother's families originated in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and were fairly well known in those communities. But my great-great-grandfather was a medical doctor. He built a hospital with 10 beds simply to serve the indigent population. And when I was at the Historical Society, there's a story written up in there about the man who was derelict, living on the streets, and he's the one that took him in and treated him. So he had a street named after him. So we found where the street was, and I could not believe it, but on the one corner was a Habitat for Humanity, which is there to serve those who are indigent, but on the other corner was a recovery center.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, in over 100 years, this has all come full circle. And I just felt like, I felt so connected to him, who of course I've never met. But I thought, ooh, I would love to sit down and talk with him about all of the things he did and what's going on now. And it was just a really gratifying experience.
All right.
One more thing.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
So we just approved the UGA extension grants, and I just wanted you all to know that they're doing this canning series.
Oh, yes.
And I'm signed up for like 3 canning classes, so I'm gonna bring you all some of my wares if you all do. But they said that this is the most requests that they've ever gotten. Their phones are ringing off the hook. We're getting ready to do salsa and something, preserves, strawberry preserves, and some kind of pickles. So you all be on the lookout for my canning wares.
Well, back in the day.
Yeah, my great grandmother used to.
No, back in the day, I did all of that.
Oh, so you can come and be a teacher.
I know, I'm sure they have updated things, but when my kids were little, because we were living in Central California where all of the fruits and vegetables grow, I canned 200 to 300 quarts of fruit and made jam every summer.
And you all ate 200 to 300 quarts of jam? Or you sold them and
Well, it
gave
was
them?
peaches, and it wasn't all jam.
Oh.
It was canned peaches, canned tomatoes, canned, different kinds of things, plums.
I have to get you through the year, I guess.
But I've not done it out here because you can't get free fruit and vegetables like we could get out there.
I'm working on that, so hold on.
Okay.
All right.
They're looking at us.
It went from
And so what are you doing today?
I'm going to call up Executive Director Holmes, and she's going to tell us about this employment summit that we've got coming up, so we can continue to attract some very talented people to be a part of the Rockdale workforce. That's what I'm doing today. I'm going to do my job.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Madam Commissioners and Chairman. So yes, we are excited. So Rockdale County, our 2022 Employment Summit will take place this year on Friday, July 29th. It's going to be from 10 a.m. Flyers there. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be at Johnson Park. One of the key things about this, we're calling it a summit. This is more than just a job fair. We are actually going to have workshops there, readiness workshops on career building, resume building. Veteran Services is going to be there. I was pulling up Georgia and WorkSource Georgia, as well as we're going to have a representative from Delta Airlines who will be there talking about what they're looking for hiring experience. So we're excited about it. It is a summit. That means a peak, you guys. We're going to be doing on-the-site hiring. So that's the other thing. Qualified candidates, we're asking them to come prepared for interviews. We're inviting all of the departments in Rockdale County to be there that day. We're going to have music, going to have some fun, and some giveaways. But more importantly, we are going to hire some qualified candidates. So I definitely wanted to share that with this audience, and definitely anybody that you know. We're going to be putting that out on social media, and we're inviting everybody to come on out. So July 29th, the Johnson Park will be there, and we're going to be in the gym also doing workshops. So I wanted to share that information.
Fantastic. On-site hiring.
On-the-site hiring, Mr. Chairman. So
Very
you come,
good.
we're going to have offer letters there on spot.
Oh, sounds good.
Yes.
Good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All
One more
right.
thing.
You wanna- go
Yes,
right
yes,
ahead.
if you guys don't mind. Would like to introduce my new deputy director. I'm going to have her come on up here. So I'm going to share some information. She is in the audience today, and just want to share who she is. For about a month, you guys know we have been actively recruiting for a deputy director. So the chairman always refers to Batman and Robin. I'm excited to be able to work with Ms. Red. She's going to come to us with over 20 years of professional experience. Her expertise are in learning management systems, educational program development, process improvement, instructional technology, as well as curriculum development. Mrs. Red, she served in the capacity of Director of Operations in the speech pathology industry, where she was responsible for human resources, day-to-day business operations, including payroll, training, and the overall budget. She has a strong and diverse background in procurement and QA as well. She worked for the Georgia Department of Transportation, and most recently, Ms. Red served as a training and development manager with the Georgia Department of Public Health. She has a Bachelor of Liberal Arts Studies degree, along with a Master of Science in Instructional Design. So I would like to introduce my new Deputy Director, Deputy Director Kimberly Red.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, Madam Commissioners, Director Holmes. I'm excited to join the talent management here in Rockdale County and bring my experience to this talented group. I'm also excited to work with each and every one of you to ensure that we are continually recruiting and retaining the best talent here in Rockdale County. Thank you so much for your time.
Welcome aboard, Deputy Director Red. Give her a round of applause.
I don't think, just really quickly, I've known Ms. Red and her family for a few years, and I don't think we could have done better. I'm super excited, and they surprised me with this morning, so I'm very, very, very glad to see you here, so welcome, and I know we're gonna have a true Batman and Robin with Dr. Director Holmes and Deputy Director Red.
All right, Executive Director Holmes, thank you so much. Any other comments from talent management this morning?
Mr. Chairman, just the employment summit. We look forward to seeing everybody there.
All right, very good. I'm calling back up Director Redmond from Parks and Recreation. He's going to talk about this event, this coming up weekend with myself and Pastor Lee. We want to encourage, we want to push it as much as we can. We also encouraging, while he's getting his thoughts together, let me say this, directors, we're encouraging as many of our directors and deputy directors and any other Rockdale County employees, and certainly all of our citizens. This is really a health initiative, and I have to give credit to Pastor Lee over at Springfield Baptist Church, as the numbers are showing that Rockdale County, from a health and wellness standpoint, we're in a category that we need to keep it moving, Rockdale. So, Director Redmond.
Good morning again. Chairman, I said that in the directors meeting yesterday, and they looked at me strange, so I'm glad you said that.
Wait a minute, but that's not how you put it. He scared us. He scared us.
I got some strange looks yesterday when I said that.
Yeah.
They didn't say they weren't coming, they just looked at me strange. Clean it up, Chief. But yes, as you said, the Fit for Life campaign will kick off this Saturday at 8 a.m. at Johnson Park. We hope to see as many people out as possible just to help them, just to stress the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. We'll follow that up with the back to school giveaway. And yes, we are aware that Rockdale County is mandating clear book bags this year, so we're planning to pass out clear book bags at the back to school giveaway. So that's what we have coming up this weekend for the big event. July 31st will be our next summer concert series.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, I wanted to always get Director Redmond, have so many programs, events, and activities happening through Parks and Recreation. So I want to encourage everyone to take a look at our website, all of our social media platforms, to stay in tune and abreast as to what's happening in and around the county, so you know that what events that we're offering. We are excited about this weekend, and our summer concert series continues out at Costly Mill Park, so make sure you take part in that as well. I want to acknowledge, we always talk about the clergy community here in Rockdale County. We have well over 300 churches, and one of our churches have had the pleasure of having a pastor in Rockdale for nearly 40 years. You all may remember that Pastor Battle from Peak Chapel, he passed away. Well, they just installed a brand new pastor, Bishop Curry. he and his lovely First Lady are now the pastors over at Peaks Chapel Baptist Church, one of the long-standing churches here in Rockdale County. I want to had an opportunity to join Chairman Baines from Newton County. You know, Peaks Chapel share parishioners from both Rockdale and Newton, so both the Rockdale chair and Newton chair was there to give greetings on this past Sunday to Bishop Curry as he takes the realm of the leadership of Peaks Chapel Baptist Church. So I want to say thank you to Bishop Curry and to the folks over at Peaks Chapel, and thank you for the work that they do in this community. That's really what I want to point out, because oftentimes so many of the things that happens in our community, government just can't do it. We rely heavily on our local clergy and our faith-based entities to help support young people, our seniors, and all of those. You talked about indigent people and food pantries and clothes banks, and they really do a lot to serve the community, and we appreciate the work that they do over there. Again, I want to say thank you to Captain Russell from the Rockdale County Fire and Rescue. That's a big deal. He was at the right place at the right time, not just a firefighter, but a nurse. Welcome to Director Peak and to Deputy Director Red. We certainly are so glad to have you on board. It looked like Executive Director Holmes got one other thing that she want to say. She's chipping at the bit over there. So come on up, Director. For some reason, this meeting is reminding me of the old Burger King commercial that said in the 80s, "Have it your way." No. So we just letting you have it your way.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just happened to look over and see we have another deputy who started yesterday.
All right, very good. I think
it's important that we introduce and acknowledge him as well. I'm going to turn over to Director Johnson to share his deputy. I happened to look over and I said, wait a minute. I see someone else.
All right, Director Johnson, tell us who you have.
All righty. Again, good morning, Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioners. I'd like to introduce our new Deputy Director of Planning and Development, Mr. Christopher Wheeler. Christopher has approximately 12 years experience. Went to undergrad at Alabama A&M, has a master's at West Georgia. He's worked for Jacobs Engineering. He's worked for CH2M Hill. He recently was doing some work up in Gwinnett County. Has a wealth of planning and zoning ordinances, some hardcore technical expertise that we sorely need in the county. So I'd like to let him come up and say a few words to you.
Let's welcome Deputy Director Wheeler.
Good morning, Chairman, Madam Commissioners. I want to thank everybody for being here. Executive, see you again. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to the Director Johnson for allowing me to be here. Man of very few words, just eager to start working, getting right to it.
And we're eager to have you. Give him another round of applause. All right, very good. I want to, in my closing remarks, just simply say thank you to all of our Rockdale County employees who constantly work around the clock to make sure that we deliver services to the citizens in Rockdale County. We have multiple projects happening all throughout Rockdale County at the same time, and we ask that our citizens be patient with us as we continue to deliver those services. And one of the things that I'm reminded to share with you, that everything we deliver comes with a price. There's a cost involved. Yes. And as the county and the community continues to grow, it demands that we have more and more services. We've heard from the citizens this morning very loud and clear, even those that didn't have the opportunity to speak during public comment. Your presence spoke, and we heard from you very loud and clear, so we thank you for that. A big hats off to Commissioner Washington and for expressing her sentiments about economic development and the impact of our community, and also to Commissioner Williams and all of the support that she continues to give in the area of mental health and mental illness. But also, we collectively share the responsibility of economic development. We want to do the right thing here in this county. We have an opportunity for our Planning and Development Department, now having a new Deputy Director on board, to go back and do some homework, do their due diligence, and come back and give the people clarity. And that's what the citizens are asking for in our county, that we provide clarity and understanding about the direction we're trying to go. I will make mention of the Big Six. The Big Six team consists of myself and Chief Cade, Mayor Vince Evans from the City of Conyers, and the City Manager, Tony Lucas. Also, the school board chairperson, Chairwoman Mandy North, as well as the school board superintendent, Dr. Terry Oates. On a quarterly basis, and sometimes more often than that, depending on what's happening in the community, we do have an open roundtable where we meet. And we talk about those overlapping issues, as Commissioner Washington was pointing out, things that impact the entire community, whether it's in the city limits of the city of Conyers, whether it's in the unincorporated area of Rockdale County, or whether it deals with our schools and our students and our parents. We know that there's over 16,000 young people enrolled in Rockdale County schools, and our community continues to grow. So we have to communicate, and we do that. And then the work that Commissioner Washington is doing with the Conyers Rockdale Economic Development Council. She serves as the chairperson of that council, working along with the Chamber of Commerce to make sure that collectively that we're communicating in the county and making sure that we're bringing this information to our citizens. Stay tuned. We've got more to come and more to share with you in the days ahead about economic development and how we can move this county forward collectively. Director Rutledge, is there any need for executive session this morning?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Well, that being said, and y'all give my special guest, give Jayla another round. She looks so beautiful. Give her another round of applause. Yes, she's been sitting here taking it all in, and she says she's going to be a physical therapist. Well, who knows? In about 20 years, she might be sitting right here in this center seat. So don't take nothing for granted. She's a superstar and a rock star because she belongs to Rockdale County. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This meeting is adjourned.